እንግዲህ ልንሰራ ገና ስናስብ ያው ሪልስቴት በጣም ከባድ ነገር ነው። ሰው ላይ እኔ እንደማህል ሆኜ ትረስት ማለት በጣም ከባድ ነገር ሰው ስለሚያምነኝ የምታመንበትን ነገር ማጉደል ስለማልፈልግ ምን አይነት ሪልስቴት ነው የሚለውን ነገር ነበር ከሌሊ ጋር ብዙ በተደጋጋሚ ዲስከስ ማድረግ የነበረው። ከዛ ባለፈ ግን በጣም የሳበኝ አንዱ ትልቁ ነገር ኢንቫይሮንመንታል ፕሮቴክሽን ላይ ታሳቢ አድርጎ መስራቱና የላሊበላን ኪነ ህንፃና የኛን የሀገራችንን ባህል ጥለት ታሳቢ ያደረገ ዲዛይን ተደርጎ መሰራቱ በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ከኛ ሀገር ሳይሆኑ ከሌላ ሀገር መጥተው የኛን ሀገር ባህል የኛን ሀገር ታሪክ ታሳቢ አድርገው ለማጉላት መሞከራቸው በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ኮንቪንስ አድርገውኛል ማለት ነው በቀላሉ በዛ መንገድ። እነዚህ ሶስቱን ነገሮች ትረስት እና ሀገራችን ያለንን ባህል የሚያኮራና ወይ የሚያጎላ ነገር ታሳቢ አድርገው መስራታቸው እኔንም ማርኮኛል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ደስ ብሎኛል ከከፍታ ጋር መስራት መቻሌ። ያው ቤትም አብሬያቸው እዛ የሚሰሩት ቤት ለመግዛትም ተወስሻለሁ እንግዲህ እገዛለሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ። ጥሩ ዲል ካገኘው ማለት ነው። አመሰግናለሁ።
በጣም እናመሰግናለን። አሁን እንግዲህ መድረኩን ለእናንተ ልንከፍተው ነው። ያላችሁን ጥያቄ ለሚመለከታቸው ከሶስቱ አንዱ የመረጥን መልሱን እናስተናግዳለን ማለት ነው።
ካሌብ ከአርቲስት ቲቪ ለሶስታችሁም አንዳንድ ጥያቄ አለኝ። I start with Mr. Dietrich. What is Rockston's goal in entering the Ethiopian real estate market? Your long-term plan, and what made you get into the market? What was the initiative that made you get into the market? ለአቶ አለምሰገድ ደግሞ ከሮክስቶን ኤጅ ሰርቲፊኬሽን እንወስዳለን ብላችኋል። የአይኤፍሲ ኤጅን ለመመረጣችሁ የተለያዩ የግሪን ሰርቲፊኬቶች አሉ፣ የሊድ የተለያዩ ነገሮች እና ኤጅን ለመመረጣችሁትና ሰስቴናብል የሆኑ ማቴሪያሎችን እንጠቀማለን ስትሉ ምን አይነት ስቴፖችን ለመውሰድ አስባችኋል? ያ ቢልዲንግ ትሩሊ ምን አይነት ግሪን ቢልዲንግ ይሆናል ብላችሁ ታስባላችሁ? ለብራንድ አምባሳደር ደግሞ የምጠይቀው ጥያቄ ማያ ፕሮዳክሽን እዛ ጋር ይታየኛል። ማያ ፕሮዳክሽን አድቨርታይዝመንቱ ኦር በፕሮዳክሽን ዘርፉ ተሳታፊ ይሆናል ኦር ኢዝ ኢት ኦንሊ ዩ እንደ ተሳታፊ ለመሆን እዚህ ጋር እንትን የተባለው ማለት ነው? ቴንክ ዩ።
ያው አምለሰት ሲባል የማያ ሚዲያ ላይ ተያይዞ የሚመጣ ነገር ነው። ምክንያቱም ማያ ፕሮዳክሽን እንግዲህ ከ10 ዓመት በላይ የፊልም ፕሮዳክሽን እና የማስታወቂያ ስራ ውስጥ ነበረ። ስለዚህ መነጣጣል ከባድ ስለሆነ ማንኛውም አይነት የፕሮዳክሽን ስራዎች ከኔ ጋር ተገናኝቶ ሲመጡ ያው ማያን ነው እንትን ይዤ የምቀርበው። ምክንያቱም ቆንጆ ፕሮዳክሽን ነው የሚሰራው፣ ጥራቱን ይጠበቃል። ስለዚህ አለ ማለት ነው ማያ ፕሮዳክሽን ማስታወቂያ ላይ። ቴንክ ዩ።
Thank you for raising that question. It's a great question because it is at the start of why we are here, right? And it all started, as you well know, Rockston has German DNA, and I'm a German citizen, as you probably can hear. and started the company in Germany. We ventured out early on into other countries. We saw potential in other countries. Next to Germany, we are present also in Spain and in Portugal, among other European countries. And the vision to go to Africa actually started pretty much 5 years ago. For various reasons, and I wouldn't be here without sort of having started all this with my partner Christoph Ebert, who's at the back of the room, because he had been living in Africa for 15 years. And we were analyzing potential in East African countries, and we very quickly nailed it down on actually that Ethiopia probably has the largest potential to create and execute our real estate vision for various reasons, most of which you obviously know yourself, but which we also subscribe to. Obviously location, best airline Africa's, a fantastic topography in terms of climate, being high, being very well suited to the new age of sustainable development, being based on renewables versus natural resources. I could expand so much, having such a genuine culture, obviously, having a city of Addis Ababa, which is such an international city of global citizens with all the institutions. All this put together made me essentially fall in love with the city of Addis Ababa very, very early on, and helped us to execute our vision on building best-in-class real estate products here in Ethiopia. Our vision as Rockston is to become and be one of the 3 top real estate companies in the country, creating best-in-class real estate projects along all segments of the market. Kafita obviously being on the higher end of the market, but in the housing, also going into medium and social housing segments going forward. Because one issue I always like to mention is when I say, what do you think Addis Ababa, Los Angeles, and Berlin have in common? They all have a housing crisis. So it's nothing uncommon. I mean, even though there are specifics about each country in terms of opportunities and challenges, there's also many common issues, and housing crisis is a common phenomenon around the world. And therefore us creating and catering to that along all segments from higher end down to social housing is something which we want to essentially apply for, to have the trust among the stakeholders also in the country to be also part of this, but also certainly going into commercial real estate and other pieces. And having best-in-class projects on all levels, from community building to amenities, social, and most importantly, obviously, environmental and sustainable goals, which you may have heard as one sort of last piece of information. We made a strong point also in Kafita applying for the Global Property Awards, and the category was Best Sustainable High-Rise Residential Development, which we did not only win within Ethiopia, we did win it last year among all African nations. So Kafita is standing for that, I think, having won and having sort of really proven to be compared to many, many other projects among all the entire continent of Africa. And that's, I think, if that answers your questions. We want to continue and be here for the long term. Thank you.
አንዱ ጥያቄ መጀመሪያ ለምን ኤጅ መረጣችሁ የሚለው ነው። እንግዲህ እንዳልከው የተለያዩ አሉ ዲድስ እና ሌላም የጀርመንም አለ ብሪቲሽም አለ። ለምን ኤጅ የመረጥንበት አንደኛው ምክንያት ምንድነው? ኤጅ ካንትሪ ስፔሲፊክ ዳታ ተጠቅሞ ነው የሚሰራው። ሶ የምትወዳደረው ሚኒስትሪም ቬሪ ስፔሲፊክ ቱ ካንትሪ ነው እና ወርልድ ባንክ በየተወሰነ ዓመት ያንን ዳታ አፕዴት እያደረገ በዛ መሰረት ነው የሚወዳደረን። ስለዚህ ለእኛም ተስማሚ ሆኖ አግኝተነዋል ማለት ነው። ምን ተጠቅማችኋል የሚለው እንግዲህ የሚጀምረው ከዲዛይን ነው የሚጀምረው። ያው ሰስቴናብል ሲባል የተወሰኑ 3 ክራይቴሪያዎች አሉ። ሜጀርሊ የውሃ ኤፊሽንሲ፣ የኤነርጂ ኤፊሽንሲ እና ማቴሪያል ኤፊሽንሲ ላይ የሚሰራው ማለት ነው። እና እኛ ይህን ስጀምር ከዲዛይን ጀምሮ ታሳቢ ተደርጎ ለምሳሌ 2 ኮርታርዶች አሉ። መሀል ላይ ክፍት አለ፣ እስከ ላይ ድረስ ኦፕን ያደረገ። ስለዚህ በደንብ ቬንቲሌሽን ሰርኩሌት ያደርጋል። ስለዚህ አየር በተለያየ ሳይድ መስታወት ሲከፈቱ በደንብ መውጣት ይችላሉ። ከዛ የተጠቀምንበት የግላስ አይነትም የሚያስገባውን ሙቀት ሙሉ ለሙሉ አካባቢቱ የተወሰነ አስቀርቶ ሌላውን የሚያስገባው። ስለዚህ ኮምፎርታብል የሆነ ኢንቫይሮንመንት እንዲሰጥ ማለት ነው። ብዙ ሌላ ተጨማሪ ቬንቲሌሽን ወይም ኤሲ ሲስተም ሳያስፈልገን ማለት ነው። ሌላ ላይ ውሃ ላይ የምንጠቀማቸው የነዚህ የሽንት ቤት የተለያዩ እንትኖች ኤፊሽንት ሆነው ብዙ በተወሰነ ውሃ ግን የብዙ ስራው መስራት የሚችሉ ተጠቃላይ ሻወር ላይ ያለውን እሱን እንጠቀማለን። በተጨማሪ የሚወጣው ከሽንት ቤት የሚወጣው ፈሳሽ ሪሳይክል ይደረግና አይ ቲንክ ሬዲዮ ላይ ታችሁ ከሆነ ፕላንቶች ሁሉም ቢልዲንጉ ፋሳድ ላይ ያሉና እነሱ በኢሪጌሽን ሲስተም ነው የምናጠጣው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ሪሳይክል የሆነ ውሃ ወደ ላይ ሄዶ ተመልሶ በግራቪቲ ሌላውን በሙሉ ፋሳድ ላይ ያጠጣው። ስለዚህ ሪሳይክል አድርገን ውሃውን እንጠቀማለን ማለት ነው። በተጨማሪ ላይቲንጎች የምንጠቀማቸውን ኤልኢዲ ላይት ኤፊሽንት የሆኑ በትንሽ ኢነርጂ ግን ብዙ መብራት ማብራት የሚችሉ በተጨማሪ ኮመን ኤሪያዎች ላይ ሰው ብቻ በሴንሰር የሚሰሩ ሰው ብቻ ሲመጣ መብራት የሚችሉ ስለዚህ የእነዚህ ሁሉ ድምር ነው ማለት ነው ኤፊሽንት ማለት ነው። ከዛ በተጨማሪ ያው በተቻለ መጠን እንዳልከው የድንጋዮቹ ምናምን ማቴሪያሎቹ ስንጠቀም በተሻለ መጠን ከሎካል ለማግኘት እንሞክራለን። ግን ያው እንደምታውቁት ፊኒሽንግ ማቴሪያሎች ምናምን ሁሌም ኢምፖርት ነው የሚያደርጉት። ግን በኤጅ ደግሞ ብትወዳደሩ ሎካሊ በሚባል ክራይቴሪያ ስለሆነ እሱ የተሻለ ይጠቅማል እና በሶስቱ 20% በላይ ሴቪንግ ማግኘት የሚቻልበትን አድርገን የሰራነው። ስለዚህ ከዲዛይን ይጀምራል ማለት ነው። ኢምፕሊሜንቴሽን ላይ የሚቀጥላል ማለት ነው።
Hi, thank you very much. Could you please comment on Kefita as an investment product? I understand that some of the buyers are looking to live there in the community for themselves, but this is also an investment product to be rented out. Is there interest from international rental, i.e. embassies, international companies, and what would make Kefita attractive for international renters who could already pay in dollars? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, and great question obviously, and very happy to expand on this because besides the overall vision which we created, it was very clear from the beginning, and that's always the case and should always be the case with every real estate product, that you need to make a very strong investment case. And I think Kefita being a strong investment case has been our guiding principle from the very beginning onwards. All the themes we tapped into in terms of best-in-class, environmental, etc., all meant to, first of all, create long-term value on real estate. In a perfect world, and in a good case, real estate appreciates in value. It doesn't depreciate in value. It only depreciates in value if the building quality is not good, or if you have not thought about what you should have in 10 years, what are the important points you need to take. Building quality, I mentioned, let's say, moisture, noise. Just to mention a few, which maybe some of you have experienced yourselves in apartments you may have here in Addis, or similar situations elsewhere in other countries, which I have also met. If these are building quality issues you have, then real estate sort of depreciates. All these things, obviously, we look very, very carefully into, making sure that the building is viable in 5 or 10 years in terms of amenities and services and sustainable goals, structural goals, seismic goals. All that is part of it in terms of appreciating and creating long-term value. And last but not least, making sure who's going to live in there. Because if you create a piece of real estate where people really want to live in, the community aspect is a key issue, then you create a great investment product because you can rent it. You can rent it. There's people who love to rent it. Addis Ababa is a great buyer's market. That's what we are doing. There's also a fantastic rental market. As you know, a large portion of the expat community, foreigners, do rent more than they buy. And you need to understand what they look for and create a product which caters both to what you all as Ethiopian community would like to see and are convinced about what we're doing. But we always, as developers, have to also think about sort of how can we rent it and do those who rent like what we do. And balancing that, being an authentic Ethiopian architecture and product with the approach to being a modern product in terms of services, amenities, and quality.